So
Mark.
good to see everyone.
Hey, good to see everyone. Welcome.
Well, good morning, everybody from around the world. I'm looking at the top of my Zoom and I just zoomed off. I want you to know that the World Wide Web, I'm out there somewhere. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning, Greg. It's so good to see you today. It's awesome being here with Mark. All of our bugs seem to be gone today, and it is wonderful joining you guys again. You know, when I think of encouragement, both Mark and Greg come to my mind. They encourage me at times when I don't even think they realize they do. Mark your posts throughout the week in for the improv class and on your personal page. What I value about that is he doesn't make those public. Those are for friends and
Oh,
those are
wow.
for family members. And I love that I know that I'm part of a group that you love, that you support, and that you pour into. And Greg, you send me the most amazing personal messages. You uplift me on days that I don't feel well. You encourage me when my spirits are down. And I want to acknowledge you guys. We were just talking before the show about this incredible journey we're on called the Art of Encouragement. So many people have reached out to us recently wanting to be guests. And we see that as the momentum carries us forth with that book. We're working on our second book now. We want our community to respond. How can this movement continue? How can we make this scale so that we're impacting more and more lives? And Mark, Mark just he went away there, but he will be back shortly. Greg, what does the art of encouragement mean to you? And what does it mean to be on this journey with us?
The art of encouragement is a truth. And you know when you hear truth. You may not like it, you may not absorb it right then, but encouragement is the truth. And when you come by someone's life, whatever it is that you connected them on, you spoke something to them that's impacted and they'll never forget it. I forget your face, can't remember what it was, but that dynamic of in this situation, you can't control, you did nothing. It must be time to move in another direction, look up and not around. Even forgot how they got impacted to be that encouragement and it becomes a part of them. Isn't that true? That's how I learned to color inside the lines. No matter what I colored as a kid, mom would put it on the refrigerator. Why'd you keep it? Still got it. I'm 62. She still got it. The scribbled lines. Did I get better at coloring? Yeah. But the encouragement that I did good and she wants to love me, she wants to see it, and it's all scribbly. That's what I look at it now. But I didn't think that then. I knew that I could color and I'm going to keep right on and go to the next class. And I just try to impact people that um, I was going through a lot of social media, contacting old friends 2 nights ago because the bottom just fell out for me. At home 5 years from a forever, never ending sentence. The miracle happened, I get out. Um, I realized that the framework that I come out of prison with, I don't expect anything I left with. I'm not supposed to be here, but I'm sure glad of it. And family does not see me for them in a part of my life combined is 30 years, but in that sentence it's 23 years. Whatever they give me, I'll accept. Somewhere along the engagement of relationship and building and work, a couple of years go by and COVID and all the things, I took focus off that as my compass. And it set me down real hard, because I had expectations. And, oh, you said you loved me. Well, no, it turned out to be their love and they accepted it. I took it. And that is why I put new exceptions on them. Oh, they must be thinking, or we'll get deeper, closer, faster. And first woman that gave me change at Walmart. I thought about it, I didn't do it. Maybe she likes me because she touched my hand and said, "Thank you so much." Just out of touch. Didn't even know what life was about. So got suit coat on, going through social media, and I found some amazing pictures. When I came home in 2019, I'm in Portsmouth, Ohio, Appalachia, the epic center of opiate deaths across America, all the things. And I spoke at a rally that a friend of mine introduced me to at a downtown parade, the first annual Whatever It Takes suicide prevention rally. Four guys, four speakers, three I'm on stage with. We all took a group picture, and I found it on Daniel Ritchie's Facebook. And Daniel Ritchie stood next to me and said, "The most amazing thing I've ever heard in my life is your story," or whatever. I'm just glad to be home. He's all over America. A&E just did a 5-part TV series on his life. And I'm looking at this picture. So I just contacted, I said, watch him all the time. Then I contacted Kyle Overheimer, the first sheriff ever in the state of Ohio to be arrested, passed out, using the drugs and the narcotics stored evidence locker. National news. Was on stage with me. Had been out of prison about a year, did 5. Life's over. But he wanted to speak encouragement. Don't commit suicide. Get help, reach out. Third one is Mike Nestor Nation, a rap Christian artist. He was just practicing his goods from Daytona Beach, Florida. Pastor Jim Brissy, who ministered to me in prison, met him and brought him into a recovery center and knew him. The guy flew all the way up and stood on stage with me. He's now in the top 10 in 4 music venues and doing concerts with all the big Christian groups. And there I stand in the middle of this picture. I cried. I thought and sorted. I wasn't discouraged. I thought, wow, I just showed up and we were all broken. And what are we doing with it? And you guys are gracious enough to include me in the book writing, the things. And I love Toastmasters. I always have. I've got a revival coming up. I get to be the keynote speaker at the end. I'm pastoring for a church this weekend. Pastor's mother died, and he's got to do a memorial service. He called me. I'm thousands of people they could call, and I'm just bopping along, back in my box. Stay in your box. Now, I don't expect anything. No one owes me anything, and I'll accept the love you give me because I was thriving in prison. Nothing to brag, but when God centered me on Him being the focus, I didn't pay attention to nothing around me. It wasn't my business. And so maybe that's a good lesson. Someone needs to hear that today. Around the world, who knows who'll connect. But I figured out this, Instagram, and Threads. I could be calling you. You're in Sri Lanka, but well, that's it. That's all I got. How you doing, Mark?
I'm
Mark,
doing really well. I took a 2 week break, not through my own choice. I
Right?
was truly, think I got that, that big disease that's going around the last few years, and it's
Yeah, it's
tough.
called the
It's tough, like
sledgehammer.
every couple of years, because of all the changes in its composition, you have to go through it, or or will you walk through it, or it's tough. It was tough for me. It was very difficult this time, but here I am. And then last week we had the bugs. So Nick, I appreciate your humor. You had the bugs, the health bugs, and then the tech bugs. You are such a wordsmith, my friend, and I appreciate your encouragement.
Master.
He's a master wordsmith. That's why we love him, and that's why we're all of us together. A lot of things are happening in my life. Also with this podcast, we have a lot of interesting, original guests who are want to be part of the show as guests, and we would like to have them in the next few months, next few weeks, and each of them will bring a story of encouragement, what they do in their communities. For me, I had this personal challenge in my family. I don't often talk about it, but there's it's estrangement, like estrangement from like from the most closest that you think and you love. And when estrangement happens, sometimes I don't know why or what is happening. And when there's no way to communicate, it's very hurtful. It's very hurtful, and it hurts me because I am part of this family. So I have decided that, the best I could do is to nurture, enrich, and embrace the family that God has given me, and not necessarily by blood, but people, family that are all over the world, that people that see me part of their family, I see them as part of my family. When something happens, we encourage each other. So even though you may experience estrangement, you may be going through this right now. This is not uncommon. This is very common. Almost every family going through that. And it's very painful. It's painful because you're so I mean, you're bonded through blood, but then you are hurt by this lack of love and understanding. So, if that is happening to you, I want you to have encouragement that perhaps you're going through this to learn something about yourself and enrich, embrace, and love the family that you can make, even if it's not by blood.
The other day, I was just reminded, Mark, of how true your words are right now. When I was in that smear campaign on social media, my brother, I've mentioned him before that he and I don't talk a lot and that sort of thing. He actually reached out to me that day and encouraged me to keep doing what I'm doing and to just, that he's watched from a distance, the things that I've been doing. And it was it was such a cool way to be reminded that even in estrangement, there can be grace at times. We haven't talked every day. We had nothing like that, but there was an authentic connection that we had that took place that day. And it really meant the world to me that, you know, he could have watched it go by and not said anything, or he responded with just with love. And it was a wonderful gift in the middle of a storm. So I want to encourage you with that as well, that even though estrangement may be happening, um, that the love is there. It's the foundation, those experiences, the shared experiences that make you part of a tribe, whether you're an outlier at times in that tribe, or if you're there and part of the daily rhythm of that group, that everyone is still part, even if our roles change. And just don't give up on yourself, on the situation, or those people, because maybe I had at that point, and I thought, well, that'll never change. But lo and behold, it did. And that's what hopes, that's the power of hope right there, that even in the middle of a, of a bad and sad situation where people brought up things from years and years ago, and of course left out most of the important details. It's one of those things where we're able to even see those people with new eyes, with grace, with love, with forgiveness. And that was powerful as well. We can change, we can evolve the way we respond to situations. A lot of times, especially if we're dealing with people from our past, I think our mindset can shift back to the way we were then, because that's how we engaged with those people. But and honestly, that was my original response. But as I took a step back, I was able to remember who I am, whose I am, and
Mhm.
I was able at that point to just change the response, to change the narrative. And instead of reaching out with a lawsuit or reaching out with things that I could have done legally, I could have done, instead of doing anything like that, I let it go. And I wish those people well. I wish those people peace. And and I really do. That's the cool thing. Those are not empty words. I really hope that someone that could hold on to grudges, which often happens with estrangement. I hope that those people, after holding on to something that was obviously so painful and so motivating for them to be propelled to respond in this way now, I hope they can have peace and that, that they as well can just experience hope and forgiveness. And in so many families, that's what needs to happen. It really is. It needs to happen. We need to be able to make mistakes or poor choices. And at some point on our journey, everyone's going to experience that. You know, not every, like as Greg was saying, not everyone's going to suffer consequences that are, all over the media or that involve a prison sentence or anything like that. Everyone has something in their life where they made a choice they wish they hadn't made. And as we respond even to those people and let them know it's okay, try again. I think that's what the art of encouragement is for me. It's not that there's this perfect utopian society that we just happen to create. Instead, it's one that involves heartache. It's one that involves authenticity. It's one that involves going, like I've been going through these health issues. I found out yesterday, after that series of operations, I've got to have four more and 15 to 20 injections of foam into my veins. And these, it's easy to go into the mindset of discouragement when life hits us like a ton of bricks. But instead, I said, what can I celebrate? What can I be really excited about right now? And I have so many things. But one of the things I love, and I decided to put my shirt on today. I'm so excited
We're
to be,
glad you have a shirt. I
yeah,
mean,
yes,
thank
you are.
you.
But I'm excited about Toastmasters. I'm serving as the club growth director this year, and it's been easy at times with the health issues to just let some of that go. But I don't want to do that. We're growing. Look at Mark. Yes, there he is. All three
Ladies and
of us.
gentlemen, we have an announcement. Mark, the announcement, and then I'll wrap us up. What do you got, Mark? What was that? What did that say?
No, it's like as you move on in your Toastmasters journey, every year you get a new badge. And like for example, like the love volunteer or the love chair or the podcast chair or Vista
I've never gotten a
Toastmaster.
badge.
You
Okay.
never got a badge. You got to get one of these,
No,
and they
no, no.
change.
I'll never be given a badge. If you know, you know. I'm just saying. But the participant, yes. But encouragement to all of us. And Nick, you look great in the shirt. You look nowhere near 100 years old, and you're going to outlive that sign.
Hey,
We're talking about
did you know though, October 22nd is the birthday of Toastmasters. October 22nd is also my birthday. So,
No.
Ralph Smedley had a great grandson, and he dropped in the
yes,
lap of Nick Patterson. Estrangement from the ones you love and abandonment. Your
yes,
own tribe, people coming back to your past 15, 20 years later, all social media blasting you. I'm a string. I got out on a string. If I don't have, what's a string? Well, sacred instruments, orchestra. Let somebody in the middle of a symphony break a couple of strings. You're a big deal. The tune, the focus, the harmony, the whole concerto, the vibe. You're ballooning a parade. You only lose the balloon when you say it with me. Let go of the string. You're the string. Don't expect me talking to me, looking at me in the world. Don't expect what you are never to get. And then it just comes in a whole other direction, and I'm not looking for it. And they say, "Oh, we're going to have the following people. They've done such a good job," and you're in the room and you're not mentioned. Sounds petty, sounds juvenile. That's where we got off wrong, and a lot of cultures of participation trophy. No, you got to put in the work. You got to do it. But can I celebrate? I mean, like I got the award. Can I celebrate for Mark? You got a card. Yeah, I got a credit card. First time in my life. You gotta know that story. My credit card, my name on it. That's a whole. Okay, forget all that. It's negativity. But learning from my tribe in a dark place in prison, I'd released a couple people as a law clerk, and I got a phone during that dark last 2 weeks. Mark was sick. I didn't connect 1 week or something goofy. Then Black Friday the 13th. A friend of mine, I'll say his name right now, Joshua Culver called me. I talked to him, white guy, he's gang related, this and that. We're opposite worlds. I'm a law clerk, and come to chapel. Let's trust God. And he changed his life, and he was getting out years before me. 17 years later, phone rings. Hi, Greg. One, what are you doing out? Two, do you remember me? Yes, I remember you. Describe me where he's at and everything else. And he went from prison to New York as a security consultant, come to change life. And it dawned on him, for whatever reason, married, got 3 kids, doing the thing, like you guys, young guy, not even 40, all that, and a beautiful wife. And he calls me. We got chit chat. He says, "Hey, where's Nick?" And I had a friend Nick before Nick came along. So you're like Nick Nick, and you're Nick Nack, and all this. It's creative. Put a plug in there. I said, "Well, let's look him up." My wife does ancestry search. Find anybody, she'll find out where I put my socks in Florida. Oh, here he is. And while I'm on the phone, and we were three amigos in a bad situation, but God changed their lives. They were leaving. I adjusted small for one and not the other. And there was nothing that would change for me. I'm out. Where's Nick? Let's call him. Nick is in the Tampa Tribune and got killed in the street in a shootout with the police. Wow. Put me right back in my box. Loved him every day, all that, blah, 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 blah. On one, after being in prison 5 times starting at age 13 in 2 different states combined throughout a lifetime. Served day for day over 30 years. I should not be anywhere. I'm grateful. And the last thing I did for him was emotion that allowed him to go to work at least and be out the 4 years. He didn't know, and I didn't know it'd be the last 4 years of his life. I'm all jacked up, suited up again today, renewed, out of the dark, because I'm looking at guys that understand it, and I speak it to the world and the people that are driving or watching it clicks with. You'll never know, and I'm not. Let me stay in my business. It's none of my business what other people think of me. Mind my own business. But I will not be silenced. Not in a rebellious sense. But I'm putting it out. It's my story. And then I got called among pastors in training and all that. You can come out here and specifically, would you, whatever you're going to speak on, would you please tell that story? I've gathered your kind of crowd. So there's a place for all of us. And so your tribe, estrangement, I'm the string, but hold on to my string. That's God. Strength is my string. And so I'm just all renewed again. And Mark, go ahead. Stay with me, Mark. Mark, I cannot do a Heimlich from there, even if I'm on the screen. Okay, stay with me.
It's I'm still recovering from that illness.
No. And
But
do
I'm
recover.
but I'm getting better, and I love the encouragement. What I have found, that we all need each other. We really
Oh, yeah,
do.
absolutely.
We cannot for a second think that we are all alone and isolated. We really need each other, and we need to show it and to do it. And that's my message. And then I'm gonna stick with it today. So I'm just happy to see both of you, um, and continue our journey.
Well, guys, it's wonderful joining with you each and every week. I believe that we are growing. I feel that momentum. We're going to be meeting this week, and I'm really looking forward to that as we map out our next steps. We want to scale, we want to make impact, and we want to encourage the world. It takes those random acts that are authentic to impact people. Do that this week as you're out there. Encourage people, and don't be ashamed about it. Don't make a big deal of it. In the Bible, it tells you, when you're blessing someone, don't shout it. Don't do a Facebook post that makes you look like the victor. Instead, connect with people where they are. Leave it in that space and give that gift. You guys know my favorite quote. I say it all the time. Is to plant trees under whose shade you may never sit. Do that. Do that. And yes, you're part of their journey. You're going to be part of their legacy. With Toastmasters, we all met at Toastmasters. That's a wonderful advertisement in and of itself.
Global.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an international organization here in Florida. We're starting so many new clubs. Paula Suma is such a rock star, and you know, so is the whole club growth team, the trio, everyone who gets paid $0. Think of that too. No one gets paid to be part of this group, but we support one another. We love one another. If you're looking for a tribe and you don't really know where to go check out some Toastmasters clubs, because even if you don't want to do public speaking, it's going to help you develop as a person, as a leader. It's going to help your thought processes. And right here at the Art of Encouragement, that's what we want to do. We want to connect you with resources that make real impact. If you're part of another organization like Toastmasters that may provide just a light for people, some hope for people, let us know. We are not exclusive to advertising for Toastmasters, and this is the first time I've ever even done a plug, but it's because I celebrate the impact that organization has had on my life. And I recognize that it brought us all together. Some, even Greg and I, those were our first connection points. And if you want to see an amazing board meeting that lasts 2 hours and follows Robert's Rules of Order and teaches all of that, you should go to the more intensive clubs, because they will definitely teach that. But if you just want to learn how to laugh at others, at yourself, and learn to listen, because that's the art of encouragement. That's the heart of Toastmasters. It's listening. So listen. And when you hear an opportunity to encourage someone this week, do that. See you
Thank you.
next week.
With that, we'll say goodbye. Thanks for joining us. The Art of Encouragement, Nick Patterson, Mark Gai. I'm the guy that shouts a lot and gets a suit coat when he's happy. Thanks, Art of Encouragement. See you next week, guys.
Bye, Greg McClintock.